Hello, everyone, and welcome to another special episode of The Post Plant. Today we have Naoshii with us, and she is a caster from the Brazilian region, and she's going to share all sorts of information about what's going on over there and just try to inform all of us what's going on in the game changer scene. So, welcome, Naoshii. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and Delta and Gumper. It's a pleasure to be here with you all to share some information from Brazilian scene and mainly female scene that I came from and I'm still in. And yeah, thank you so much.
Well, could you kind of introduce yourself, kind of what your background is in esports, and you talked a little bit about it, but what also you're doing now?
Okay, so I'm a Brazilian caster from Brazil currently, but in the past I used to be analyst, and I was the analyst of current Team Liquid female base. But I started as Valorant caster for university tournaments, and after that, I applied to be analyst of the Gamelanders Purple. That actually is the base of Team Liquid, female, and so I came back to the casting and hosting in the esports, and now we are.
Great. Well, that's so interesting because I have a lot of questions about former Gamelanders Purple, now Team Liquid. Um, so, could you kind of also talk about that team in terms of their makeup, like who's the IGL, maybe the history behind that team?
So mm, what I can tell you about this team is like um, in the 2020 we saw a rising female scenario in Brazil. So we saw fire angels that were INTZ angels, and so B4 angels now. And we saw metagaming, that is Latam organization that hired some players, and so Liberty was also a Brazilian organization that announced a female team in the beginning of 2021. And so Gamelanders was also aiming to but build something like good players, but like give a chance to the female scenario, and also um, bring some strong names like Bastarda, that she were from the metagaming, Naxi, that she was also from the metagaming, and the DRN, and also some young names like Daiki is like very young talent in Brazil scenario, and that was the beginning of the idea. Like I can share to you, like it was like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did application for staff and game lenders, but it wasn't only for the masculine line. And so 300 people applied to this application,
Whoa.
and only me and Chigas, that is currently the analyst, the general analyst, but beginning was the Game Landers Blue, that is the masculine line. We were accepted to join the team, and since then, the work was pretty hard. Mainly, I feel mainly from the women, because they used to play the female tournaments and also the other tournaments, and the effort to reduce the gap, the effort to build like a very strong female line to compete not only the female scene but also in the main scene, like the,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how can I say it in English, mixed scene.
Right, the
Yeah,
main or the mixed
yeah.
circuit.
yeah, the mixed circuit. And so that is like they started to work hard a lot, and also I think they brought a lot of very good staff to work hard together with the team.
Interesting. So it sounds like a huge investment was made to try to build up Gamelanders Purple. So I'm curious as to what did the scene look like before Valorant. I'll give you an example that in NA, there's a lot of players that Valorant is their first FPS. So I'm curious if any of the Gamelanders Purple or now the Team Liquid players, if Valorant was their first FPS, and if not, like what was the scene like in CS for these players?
Okay, so what I know is the Valorant wasn't the first FPS game of this women from the former Gamelanders Purple, now Team Liquid female. But Daiki, for example, hasn't any professional experience in the CS, for example. She was just streaming and working very hard. And so she started to also play a very hard and good Valorant. And everybody was like looking that she's a very amazing rising talent in the 2020. And also I know some female that are very good and are not from the FPS scene. For example, Shaize is from before Angels, the Fire Angels, INTZ Angels actually is before Angels. And I think it's mainly in FPS talking. We have some kind of circuits in Brazil, but it's pretty hard because most of the female teams, when we have a female scenario, it's good, but most doesn't have like a very strong and consistent scenario. That, for example, we have VCT game changers. We are sure that you have the VCT game changers at least once per semester, for example, here. And in the CS, we have just like gamers club female circuit. That is, it's kind of tournament organizer from Brazil, and they have female tournaments too. But it's pretty different when you have and you don't have the female scene, at least to grow, at least to raise some talent and give them the opportunity, and also bring the organization uh, to see it and feel like they are in the business too, because they have they own circuit, at least like to grow and improve, and so moving like with their own steps to the mixed scene.
Uh, well, that's actually another question I had. It seems like there's a lot of Game Changer Academy tournaments going on.
Yeah.
In the other regions, it's only like one tournament organizer hosting a Game Changers Academy. So I was wondering, is there like a reason behind that, or like what's going on within Brazil that there's so many academy tournaments or circuits?
So that's my own opinion. I don't know what is happening inside Riot Games. I'm not from Riot. It's only my opinion. But what I can see is that Game Changers is a very huge and strong opportunity and door in Brazil for Valorant 2. It's not only the VCT, also the Game Changers, because they can bring to the business, like business talking, because we are not only talking about playing the game, we are talking about audience, we are talking about the
Sponsors.
yeah, sponsors. And this rising talents are also very strong. For example, Daiki for example, Isa Ai is also a very young and strong player from the female scene that also played in the before Angels, but now she's playing for Gamelanders Purple current line, and they started to see opportunity for uh, putting the game on the business and bringing more new names and building a new professional circuit opportunity, not only for the men or not only for those that are already inside the Valorant professional organizations or famous name, but also to those who wants to join the new names and young people, but also to minorities like for women, LGBTQL plus community, and so on.
Interesting. So it's it's just trying to get as many people involved as possible and being open to all of these sponsors and all of these TOs that just want to come in.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Um, well, you brought up the new team. So actually, let's go back. So in 2021, we
Mm-hmm.
saw Gamelanders Purple at the time win most, if not every, every tournament. So I'm curious. Do you have any summary on like what happened in 2021 other than Gamelanders Purple taking charge and taking the lead?
So we saw in the beginning of the female scene, the beginning of Valorant in 2020, coming back a little bit more back. It's like 2020 talking. Strong lines, but mainly the Fire Angels line that were INTZ and so before sports, before Angels. And they saw like a very interesting opportunity to win at least the female tournaments, and they started to see a lot of female tournaments, for example Twitch Rivals Women and Girl Power tournament. And because of that, a lot of organizations and also women started to see opportunity to get engaged, involved in the professional Valorant scene,
Mm-hmm.
at least for the female tournaments to start. And because of that, I think like they saw a very um it's kind of goal, like beat the first place, beat the first place that in the beginning of 2021 everybody was expecting the Fire Angels, the Angels were like in the first place. And so Gamelanders Purple started to work hard in the well played Valorant. And also we think that this happened also in the mixed scene. They don't have like, how can I explain? In the beginning of the game, nobody knows how to play the game in the other ways. You know, like don't know how to get some innovation. If it's solving the problem, you are winning the game, so it's good. It's not like today we have, for example, very huge staff board to help a team to improve and get better and better. In the beginning of the game, nobody even knows what an analyst does. So I think the Gamelanders United, like the experience they had with the Gamelanders Blue, that they won the all the tournaments in 2020, and some of in the beginning of 2021, they know like how to get this way to the female team, and so like do it like the schedule of screaming and the schedule of like the learning the game, studying, and bringing the staff board to improve. Like bringing psychologists, bringing a lot of people that can improve the players to get even more and more, and don't feel comfortable only winning. You need to improve your game even if you are winning. So I think that was the main spot. Like they had a very uh, experienced masculine line, and so they bring this opportunity and bring this experience to the female.
scene. So that's an interesting point you bring up because I remember all of the analysts in the states were talking about Gamelanders Blue uh, at the beginning of Valorant and like you said
Yeah.
2020 and 2021, but then it I didn't know this, but it does seem like all of the teams caught up, and so you explaining that, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And so this catch up that happened in like the main circuit, um, do you think that it's possible in the like in the game changer scene? Because it right now it seems like still Team Liquid is still at the top. So how much work do you think is involved for the other teams to catch up, and do you see them catching up in this year?
I think we are facing a very interesting and historical year for VCT Game Changers, the Brazilian VCT Game Changers, the mainly talking about um not only the protocol evolution, that is the main event of female tournaments, but also the tier 2 female tournaments, for example Hera Game Changers, and the small tournaments that also can bring some lines, like for example, um, I think that the most important thing that Gamelanders had, and also now Team Liquid, that they got a very huge jump, was the how can I say it, the resources. Yeah, the resources, because it's not only playing, because the girls are playing, but playing with quality, and you need someone to also to help you to get to know if you are playing with quality, if you are like it's not only winning all the time, but you have to know why you won. You have to get to know um, how you did it. You have to rationalize. Is it this word in English? Get the
Uh,
things rational. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not fluent
No,
at
it's
English,
okay.
okay.
but you have like, and so in the beginning, Gamelanders Purple just put a lot of effort on that. Like the staff board was always hardworking with the girls, and they were playing with quality, screaming with quality. It's not only talking about sorry, not talking about the other teams, because I don't know, but I think this is very very strong. And when we saw the other teams, they have only one coach, and sometimes this person cannot like hold everything together. Like it's a lot of things. And so now they are a step forward, maybe not only, but thousand of step forwards, because the Gamelanders Purple joined into the Gamelanders Purple base, joining the Team Liquid, and so was the first female line to go to a boot camp outside of Brazil, and like is very strong experience. So I think these organizations, and not only the girls, but the organizations have to see and have to bring the resources to beat um, against this team with what they did, like a strong staff board and
Right.
so boot camp and everything.
Right. So you're saying they also have so much of a head start that as they continue to grow, just
Yeah.
exponentially, they continue to grow. The teams are gonna have it's possible, but they're gonna have difficulty catching up because of the head start that Team Liquid had with Gamelanders Purple, like support and their
Yeah.
resources.
The
So,
support and the
right,
resources is very important.
right. So like whatever other organization is interested, they're gonna have to just make sure that support is there so that they can catch up. Okay.
I think it's not only the in the female scene, all the scene. If you wanna beat, you also have to have good players. When I say good players, like players that were really involved in the game, not I am radiant, but what if you were radiant but not playing with responsibility, going to the screams and playing hard and working hard on it, but players that really like what they are doing now, and they want to win, and they want to know like the quality, not only just because we have five players very good and radiant, but they have to be good together and have to get like the quality of the game and so on.
So, so I have a question about Gamelanders Purple now. Then, I see that Gamelanders Purple played against Team Liquid in the past or this past
Uh-huh.
weekend, and I know that there was like a lot of hype because it's like predecessor playing their current counterparts, that kind of thing. So Team Liquid did win pretty decisively. So they Gamelanders was able to take 7 on the first map and then 3 on the second map. I was wondering your thoughts on Gamelanders Purple ability to catch up, and what do you think is the promise of like this team? Like I know that they're made up of former like signed players and stuff, so could you share like your thoughts on this team and their ability to catch up?
First of all, this is something that I say in my Twitter, that I'm so happy to see new names on the in a very huge and good organization that is Gamelanders. For example, Lisa was like, I don't know if she played in huge shortlist organization before. Also, Georgina is not like very famous name, not used to be a very famous name in the female scene, and I'm so happy to see them in the very good organization, because it proves that you don't need to have famous, you don't need to have like strong name. You have to play well. You have to have a be a good player as a professional. And I think they are very stricted to this, like bringing very good players and staff professionally talking. And I'm so happy that I can see new names. So I think that like um, most of organizations can see what Gamelanders did and still doing, and also bringing opportunities to other people. And what I think is like is very recent, like it's very recent line, like together, like people have to get like more more comfortable. I think time is very important too, like playing together. They have never played together. Only Biazika and Antiji were partner players in the Vivo Cage Atenas, were like together. So I think it's pretty important. So they won another female tournament before, and they proved a lot of um, very good Valorant on the server. And I think it's only time, like to get a very good and strong team to beat Team Liquid. And I think like Georgina is a very good name to talk. Like she used to be Cruzeiro player. Cruzeiro is organization of a sport organization, and also um, maybe Isa is very good. She is not rising talent because she's very good, so it's not rising. It's very strong talent, but everybody knows that she's very strong. So I think the rising can be like Georgina and maybe Lisa. Lisa is very young, and I think she have a way to grow in Valorant, and she's receiving a very nice opportunity to improve the professional points that she could do. So that's it. I think that's the main point of Gamelanders Purple now, the current Gamelanders Purple, the time they are together. I think they just need time.
Okay. So just looking out for the continued support that the previous roster had, like,
Yeah.
poured into this team, and then some time, and hopefully they'll be able to take a take a few more maps off of Team Liquid. Like, do you think in their current state they could have made it into finals? Like, if they weren't matched up against Team Liquid so early in the bracket, since like they did win that Spike Ladies tournament. Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
curious if your prediction is that they could have gone to finals.
Well, I don't know because it's pretty hard because, for example, TBK is a very strong line too. So maybe Gamelanders could face TBK and also be for Angels. So it's pretty hard to say like they could be in the finals because they are also very strong teams and also underdog because everybody wasn't expecting TBK in the finals, and these girls did it because they have some experienced players. For example, Bia, Bezerra, and Dani. They used to be in another organizations before, and I don't know about Isa effects. I don't know if it's the same Isa was I'm thinking about. So I am not going to talk because I know another Isa, but I don't know if it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I know at least these names are very strong and these names have a lot of experience. So basically, they did like they did a very good way into the finals, and I think that could be very hard to the other teams. For example, Gamelanders Purple to beat TBK or TBK beat Gamelanders Purple, and also before Angels, and also Tropicales. Tropicales is a very strong team that used to be a underdog and almost beat it before Angels with
Mm.
38, 38 rounds. A map of 38 rounds with
Wow.
overtime. Yeah, pretty
Oh my
crazy. Yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
Whoa. Jeez. Okay,
Yes.
so that was
So that's what
close.
I'm talking.
Wow.
The organization started to bring some strong staff boards, strong players, players, how can I say, players scouting in players
Mm-hmm.
um watching, caring, like taking care about the quality and the professional stuff. So that's it. That's the point, like if you give them the support and the opportunity, they do this.
Right. That's amazing. I was gonna actually ask you about TBK because I hadn't heard of them before. So I was like, where did they come from? But said that they do have experience playing on teams, and so it's not like too surprising that they they came up
Yeah.
there. Okay.
I mean, it could be surprise for those that are not watching the female scenario since the beginning. as I
I
am
see.
because I'm
Mm-hmm.
really passionate for the female scenario because I saw in there opportunity for me that what happened. I joined the professional Valorant stuff through the female scenario. So um, in the beginning, the line of TBK have Bezerra that used to play uh, from used to play Valorant for Cruzeiro, if I'm not wrong. And also Bia used to play in the since the 2020. She used to play in a very strong female line that everybody was expecting that this line used could beat the Angels. This before existing Gamelanders Purple because they announced the Liberty line, the Have on Liberty. Used to be Have on Liberty, now it's only Liberty female line, and she was there. And also, I don't remember the another name. Dani. Dani used to play Vivo K for Vivo K de Tennis, and she won a tournament. I don't know if she were in this line, but a tournament for being the official line for Vivo Cage. They did a tournament, and the best team will be the female line, and so they have a lot of experience. So I'm like, I'm not that surprised because they have strong names. And also they have like a staff board that also have some experience. So this is pretty important.
Okay, interesting. So a lot of other names to keep up with. So now that Team Liquid won this past tournament, uh, as like it was a part of the open qualifier. So
Yeah.
can are they going to continue to compete or are they like qualified? How does that work?
Let me explain. So in Brazil, we have some qualifiers, and you have to play it for getting the points. For example, for the seeding for the main event. Like you have protocol, maybe you have 3 or 4 protocol, and so you have the main event, if I'm not wrong. I don't know if this current year will be the same of the last year, but it's something similar to that. And so the teams that have enough points to join to the main event are going to join and play and receive a better prize pool. And you can see this below. Like I'm on point, but it's not. It's like yeah, yeah, the points. Like now Team Liquid have 400 points. 100, yeah, it's 100. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
good at basic mathematics, so
400, you got it.
yeah, 400. And so TBK have 3, and Odic Bright have 2, and also before Angels have 2. So they need to keep receiving these points to join the main event to compete again.
Okay, so we might see them again, as within the four qualifiers before the main
Yeah.
event. Interesting.
Yes.
So basically, these teams are fighting for second, third, and fourth to get as many points as possible. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, I did have two more questions. I think. So I know that Team Liquid competed in the open circuit, and oh, I lost the.
I
There we
think
go.
VCT Game Changers does not have the invitational stuff in the qualifiers. Everybody is going to play.
Well, I kind of just wanted to ask kind of a comparison question. So in NA, we
Mm-hmm.
started having a lot of the teams compete in the main circuit, like Cloud9, Y8, 24 Haven. They have started competing in the main circuit, and unfortunately, they don't do too well. They usually go out in the first round, sometimes the second round. But Team Liquid actually did quite well, and they almost qualified. So I just wanted a kind of comparison between Team Liquid and then maybe the other teams and all of the like mixed or male teams that are in the main circuit.
So I'm happy the Team Liquid again is like almost um almost going to the playoffs. Is it the name playoffs?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, because they have a lot of talent and also a lot of Valorant to show in the server. Um, I don't know in like inside what happened because I'm not from the Team Liquid, but I know that's pretty hard when we are talking about the mixed scene. For example, the also the nervous you can be like, oh my god, you have to prove that you are good, you have to prove that, like, I don't know if it wasn't this, if it was something else, but I think it's too much pleasure, like to play and not from the Team Liquid, but from the society at all. Like, you are good, but you're good enough. You need to play VCT playoffs. You need to, beat huge organizations. But nobody's saying the same thing to some organizations that was, for example, invited and, like, didn't do a very crazy and play hard Valorant as Team Liquid did. And also in the last year, we had a team that the female team that was that got to the playoff, and the former Stars Horizon team in the last year. And so I think the female scene, with a lot of tournaments that we have, the continuous circuit that we have, for example, the protocolo circuit that we have, is pretty important to keep playing and keep growing up your Valorant and your, like, your
Your
work
skills.
and everything. So you need to keep, screaming and not only waiting to the VCT. It's very important.
So it, I find it just interesting again, like the comparison, because I also saw like this tweet, for example, and Daiki placing third, like in the region. That
Very
that's
crazy.
that's kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what rankings like some of the players in NA are, but I definitely not in top three because I would have heard that. So
Yes.
it's interesting that they're trying to keep up, and then the story you described earlier with all of the support in Gamelanders Purple, like their intent to make them compete in the main circuit as well. Like that's kind of the mindset that Cloud9 had as well. They want their players to not just be the best like game changers team, but also to just pursue Valorant and be the best team that they can be. So
Yes.
that's cool that it's a similar like mindset.
Yes, it's like they are working to be the best. What I think the most of the female teams are trying, but they are respecting the steps they can, like, for example. And I'm pretty proud of all the teams, and mainly the female teams, talking like just trying to get the steps, like, I want to be the best, but if I just, like, if I just see what, for example, the biggest, one of the biggest, and the top three, top five biggest mix mix mixed teams did, I'm gonna feel so frustrated because I didn't receive the same support and the same historical of playing FPS and everything as a main, for example, and as a main for a huge organization. So I'm so happy they are trying to beat the first place of the VST Game Changers is pretty amazing. And this doesn't mean they don't want to be the best of the Brazilian Valorant, not only the female scene. But I'm so proud they are trying to respect the steps they can take, like, for example, if I just see what the mixed scene are doing, I'm not going and I'm not going to do the same. I'm going to feel frustrated, and I'm not going to have the desire of playing, because I'm not on even, like, beating the like the 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 basic that the mixed scene are taking as a small team, with a small organization. So I think they are trying also, but I think the other teams are just respecting the steps they can take, the female talking, But I'm so happy that Gamelanders, that now as Team Liquid, are already in a huge organization, are have already a lot of support. They are not enough. They are, for example, trying to be the best player of ranked. And in Brazil, this mean, for me, in my opinion, does mean a lot. You being the server in the first place, in the first page, or the first or the second page, and it's very important to them to keep growing, like, and also respecting the steps and breaking the barriers of the female scene, and mix it and starting to beat, so I think the most of female scene and female teams, female players are trying to do the same, but respecting the steps, like, I can't beat, for example, Loud now, but I'm trying to beat Team Liquid. And so when I beat Team Liquid, I'm gonna, like, I'm gonna aim more. I'm gonna beat the I don't know, the mixed team that I used to lose, and now I wanna beat them. And I think that's it. It's like suspecting the steps that you can take.
Okay. And I think that's cool that they have so many, that you all have so many tournaments to allow that to happen. So like I think
Yes,
with
I love it.
Spike ladies,
Yes.
there were like the invited teams, which even though it was like an academy circuit, they still wanted to push the level of competition by inviting like the really good teams for these newer teams to compete against. So that's really cool.
And also, I want to say that not only, for example, Spike Ladies, but also Hera Game Changers, Hero Game Changers. I don't know how can I say it in English for you, but in Portuguese we say Hera Game Changers. Also invited, for example, Black Women Cast Board. And I was like, oh my god, yes, that's it. The point, like bringing people to the game, bringing people to the business, like, and I'm so happy that happened. And I'm just looking for more things like this. It's not only game changers in the game, like only bringing the female, because we in Brazil can see that we are all, or most of all, are cis women, white women, and like, it's very different here, the social opportunities for this kind of women. For example, it's hard, but it's very different situations for example, trans women and black women in Brazil. So I feel that the game changers are trying to reduce the gap between these inside, not only women, but the black women situation, and the white women, and the trans women. So I'm so happy for this.
Cool. That's amazing that there's all these opportunities for that. So, at least my last question to you is, uh, in your best guess, how do you think Team Liquid, or whichever team or teams that make it to the international LAN, how do you think they will fare against the other regions?
Hmm. I don't know if I understood. It's like if I could be cast in an international tournament, female tournament, is it?
So the international LAN that's supposed to happen with all of the Game Changers regions,
Uh-huh.
How do you think Brazil, whoever the representative will be, how do you think they will fare or do against the other teams?
Like, um, which ones could be the best to beat, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a lot of people are thinking Cloud9 White could beat like all of the regions, but I'm thinking the other regions are probably have like a dark horse that could take out Cloud9 White. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Yes. Okay, so I'm pretty excited to watch X10 create a team that is, I don't know if it's from Thailand or it's from
Yes.
Indonesia.
I
I'm
should
sorry,
I should check.
but
Uh,
I'm looking to them like because what I saw from the not Japan and like the only Asia part the Valorant played on the server was very different what I saw here. Like so I'm so excited to see them playing against the Brazilians because they're like aggressive and like very surprising decisions. But I really want to see also the G2. G2 goes in is very strong, and also Gildex. I really would like to if someone say like you want to say Team Liquid against Gildex, you just need to pay this. I was like, yeah, take my money. I want to see this now because this I think this Gildex is very strong team. Like they almost got the title of the G2 Guzen, the current title of G2 Guzen. I think they have strong names too. So I would love to see like X10 against Team Liquid and also maybe Gildex or mainly Gildex and also G2 and Team Star. I don't know if it's Team Star or Team Star.
10 star.
I'm
Team
sorry.
Star. Thank you. So maybe Teen Star. Oh my god, Teen Star could be very, very hard. Like Clap playing against Daiki or Bastarda could be very crazy. And also, Cloud9 White is very, very, very strong. Everybody knows. And Dignitas could be very good too. So fan of female scenario, worldwide female scenario. So I could spend the entire the entire interview talking maybe this team against this team, but this team is very strong too.
Yeah, well, we'll
Yeah.
definitely have to bring you back to talk about that because I feel like once everyone has had a series, so NA series is coming up. So once we get further down in the year, it'll be a little easier to start talking about comparisons. So we'll definitely have to bring you back
Yes,
to talk about all of the potential combinations that we'll
yes.
anticipate. Well, those are all my questions. Naoshi, thank you for coming on. Do you have any plugs or any last minute things you want to say?
I'd like to thank you all to the invitation. For me, it's a little bit hard to talk in English, so I'm sorry
Oh,
if
you
I
did great.
committed some mistakes, mainly grammatically talking. I'm not that good, but I'm so happy to came here to talk about the Brazilian scene, mainly the female scene that the scene that came from, and I'm still in. So I'm so happy that we are like sharing this information and trying to explain at least a little bit what is happening here. And I hope this could inspire to the others versions that don't have the VCT game changers as we have with a lot of circuits. Just you know, inspiring and watching that the women can be on the business and the social issues is very important, and this also impacted the esports community. And since you give them the opportunity, the support, they are like bringing a vast and very diverse and different and innovative and amazing Valorant and like amazing scenario. And that's it. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah, it was lovely. Thank you for coming on. So we will drop your socials in the YouTube video. So make sure you follow Naoshi. Make sure you also like and subscribe to the channel.
Yes,
like the
please
video,
subscribe.
subscribe to the
Yeah.
channel, and we will catch you next time on the next episode of The Post Plant.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.